Hi.
Hi.
I'm Daniel.
Lily.
Can you give the audience an idea of all the main cities that you can live in within the KMC?
Okay, so if we're looking at Ramstein as the major hub, if you go out one way towards Baumholder, between Ramstein and Baumholder, which there's another base in Baumholder, as you know, you're covering the Kusel area. And Kusel is a city on its own, so that's the bigger one in between those two towns, Ramstein and Baumholder. And then all those surrounding villages there belong to the Kusel community. So that's actually a good option if you have family members stationed here and in Baumholder to find a middle spot, or working in Baumholder but still want to be close to Ramstein and Larmsee. That's also a good spot to be in. And then coming further this direction, Ramstein takes you to Landstuhl, of course, and the cities around or villages around there, with Landstuhl being a bigger city with a lot of restaurants and nightlife, shopping, clothes. You have everything there as well. So if you're in those surrounding villages, that would kind of be your go-to city. And then coming towards Kaiserslautern, where we have a couple of military bases. Obviously, Kaiserslautern's the biggest city here in the area, with a population of over 100,000. It has a train station, Landstuhl has one too, and the Ramstein city center too. So those are the three main hubs, I would say, with good public transportation.
Okay, so those three hubs again, just to be clear.
Ramstein village itself, then Landstuhl, and then Kaiserslautern.
Okay.
Yeah, so around Kaiserslautern, good areas to be in that have good infrastructure, as well as schools, of course, German schools, shopping, groceries, and things like that. Around Kaiserslautern would be the Weilerbach area. So that's a popular town just because it's not out in the middle of nowhere. It's close to Kaiserslautern. It has good access to the highway, Autobahn in German. You're close to ROB, that area. So you can quickly go all directions from there. Yeah, so Weilerbach's a good one to be close to Kaiserslautern, but also quick access to the highway to get to Ramstein, for example. And going through Weilerbach, as you've seen, it's a busy main street, but you have everything there, even within walking distance. If you wanted to park your car and go to 5 different stores, you could easily just walk to all of them.
Sembach.
Yes, so heading further east away from Kaiserslautern direction, Mainz, Wiesbaden. On the way there, you get through Mehligen and Sembach, and there's still the old Army airfield there, which died out over the years, but recently they've been building it back up again. And you do have quite a few facilities there which is open to military members, like the gym, and there's another vehicle registration out there, laundromat. They also have an elementary school. There used to be even movie theater, bowling alley, and all of that. So maybe they'll start bringing that back since they're bringing more people over again. So that'll be interesting to see how that becomes more available again.
Okay.
But yeah, there's the bank there, gas station, of course. So there's a lot you can just, if you're passing through, stop by there to get some things done without it being overcrowded. I know a lot of people like going there for the gym. Well, maybe now it'll start being crowded. You never know. But yeah, just for people living out in that area around Sembach. So Sembach itself, off base, is a village, of course, of its own where you can live. And those villages around there, like Enkenbach-Alsenborn is a common one, just because that also has a train station, grocery stores, restaurants, and the little, what people like, the village square where they do little festivities and things like that, and everyone comes together, like for Fasching or for Oktoberfest or Spring Festival, a small Christmas market. Yeah, so now that COVID's more or less gone or not that present anymore, these things have been coming back, and there's a lot more going on in the villages again. And depending on the size, like Enkenbach is a good one where they actually still come together for things like that and organize things.
Okay. All right.
Mehligen is also all in that circle with Sembach and Enkenbach. It's a nice little town. And right there, you're at a good hub. I always call it a triangle because you can, from Sembach Mehligen area, an hour get towards Ramstein, Saarbrücken, the other direction, Mannheim, Heidelberg, or that direction, Mainz, Wiesbaden, Frankfurt, you know, all that. So really good highway access.
Yeah.
Well, now that the construction on the A6, which is the main highway from Ramstein to Kaiserslautern and back, or all the way to Sembach even, both directions, the past, I don't know, it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but 15 years it's just been under construction, but that has really been the case.
Construction every year. I've been here going over here for the last 10 years, and I swear the same construction is still happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so the main A6, so that's where you're gonna get most of your traffic.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And where can you live to avoid that?
Well, it depends on where you need to go. If it makes more sense going through the city and taking a different highway access. I mean, Kaiserslautern along the A6 has a couple of ways to get on and off the highway. So depending on where you are, you could try out different times and different exits, so to speak. A lot of the villages, the smaller ones, you have to get on the main highway and then take the exit and go through a couple villages to get to yours, especially when you're going out to the Kusel area. They're usually all connected through what they call Landstraßen, so the country road. Realistically, you should give yourself a good 30 minutes, and that's what most people are trying to stay at. Even though it's interesting in the States, a lot of people have a much longer commute. And once they come here, they're like, well, I want quick access in and out and maybe 15 minutes, but I want, you know, a big house, a big yard, but I still want the train station and the restaurant right there. So I think it has a lot to do with expectation management and driving around and looking at the area and seeing, okay, do I want like Ramstein? Do I want to be in the village where there's hustle and bustle, but I'm still close to base, might have a smaller house for a higher price? Or do I want to drive out 20 minutes direction Kusel or direction Landstuhl and live in one of the tinier villages where I might have the local bakery or a butcher, maybe a hair salon or Döner place, and that's it, and then have to drive for everything else, but in exchange have a bigger home that's not overpriced, or, you know, these are all things you gotta kind of look at and compromise, really. Yeah, so the bus system for the military schools is great. They go to all these little villages, and it's specifically for the American kids. Whereas the German kids, when they take the bus to their local schools, it's just a regular either city bus or the bus that runs that line all the time. They don't have specific school buses. So for the military, they put a really good system in place where, you know, it's the same bus stop as the regular German bus. Obviously says that the American bus stops there, but, you know, they have their own private transportation, so to speak, for the schools.
Okay.
And so they cover these villages that are further out as well to make sure the kids have safe transportation and the parents don't have to, you know, do the extra drive around themselves.
My last question is then, for all these folks that are wondering about what the houses look like off base and when can I get into them and who do I need to talk to set up appointments and to look at things, what would you recommend they do?
It would be great if they called me, German Aid. Yeah, so you can find properties that I've been hired for from the homeowners or landlords to find tenants for them. Those are listed on my website, german-aid.com, along with short-term and long-term rentals. So if you're looking for temporary lodging, fully furnished, you'll find properties there, or the long-term rental in general, those are empty. You bring your own furniture, which is often the case when you're PCSing, you tend to bring your household goods with you. Eventually, they'll show up. But yeah, so I think I can provide good resources from properties that I already have on my website. However, if you don't find anything that quite fits your search criteria or your wish list, or you're just unsure about, how to navigate searching everywhere, or maybe feeling overwhelmed or not wanting to invest the time to check everything on your own, then we can also take a proactive approach and help those people and provide personalized service for what they're looking for to help them find exactly that and guide them along the way.
So a little concierge service, huh?
Yeah, you could call it that.
Okay.
No, it's not just looking at homes, it's anything that you might need to navigate on the German side. So setting up utilities, getting a bill that you don't understand, or making sure, is this my registration letter for electricity? The companies are pretty good about keeping an eye on, okay, is this an American that's registering? And they'll try to remember to send a welcome letter in English, but that's not always the case. So you might get the welcome letter in English and then the official registration letter saying, this is how much you need to pay, and this is when the payments are due, and this is the IBAN, and all these things that are important, that's in German. So you want to make sure you don't miss, okay, what am I paying, and when does it need to be paid, and things like that. So we have people reach out and say, hey, we just want to make sure we're understanding this correctly, setting up cell phone service, internet, letting them know where's a good place to shop for children at a certain age, or even for yourself if you're looking for certain furniture maybe, or telling them what good stores there are to go to that accept VAT forms, where the process is easy and you don't have to wait a long time or explain to someone how to use a VAT form because they're just accustomed to it already. There's a whole wide range of things. Over the past couple of years, more families have been inclined to sending their kids to German schools. So that registration process, of course, is in German. Some of the schools, the teachers or principals may speak English, but anything official that you need to sign is always going to be in German. And ich spreche auch Deutsch, fließend Deutsch.
Yeah. Okay. So you were telling me a story the other day about the situation. Actually.
Yes.
So can you run that down again?
Yeah. So I got a phone call on Tuesday this week, actually, and it was a woman inquiring about translating services. And I said, well, what topic do you need it on, or what's it about? And she said, well, my daughter's enrolled in a German elementary school, Grundschule, and asked if I could accompany her to the parent-teacher meeting, and the daughter was supposed to be present, and she had just started last fall, so she's still learning German herself, and of course the mom's doing what she can on her end to learn the language as well, which, it's hard and it doesn't come quickly, and you need time to think about it and translate it back and forth. And so in a meeting like this, where you're concerned about your child and also want to feel integrated yourself as a parent in the school, she asked if I could go to this meeting with them and translate. So I did. It was the next day, which was just yesterday, so I was able to move some things around and be there, because I know how it is myself as a mom. You just want to be involved and understand what's going on. And at the time when I moved over here, I was also thrown into the German system and had to learn the hard way. So it's something that's just dear to my heart. So I can see it from the kids' perspective, because that's how it was with me as a young teenager at the time, and now looking at it as from the parents' point of view. And it worked out well. So everyone was, happy. The teachers could say it how they usually would say it in their mother tongue, and then the mom and the daughter had a chance to ask questions and express their feelings and experiences, and yeah,
That's really cool. That's really
It's nice to be able to help out.
Okay, and you have to tell the other story too that you told me about the phone situation out here, because I run into that all the time. You know, listening to, you know, any type of automated system where you have to press a number to get to the right person, and I'm like, wait, what did they say?
Yeah.
Did they say?
Für Verträge drücken Sie die 1.
Genau.
Haben Sie eine Störung, drücken Sie die 2. And you might pick up the numbers and you're pushing the phone really hard on your ear to not miss. Is she gonna say English? Für Englisch drücken Sie die 4. But no, they never say that. So it's a guessing game of if you don't know any words at all, and often depending on the connection, these robots aren't that easy to understand either. And sometimes they give you the chance to say something, but if you're not saying a word that they have saved in their thing, it's like, tut mir leid. So,
Exactly.
So we've had several clients reach out to us saying, we've been getting the amounts double booked from our account, or somehow the phone's blocked, we can't call out anymore, only Wi-Fi is working, or we canceled the service and we can see months later the money still being deducted from the account because Germany, it's common that they make you sign paperwork allowing the provider to take money out of your account. And so if something goes wrong in their system where you cancel it, return your device, but there's a check mark missing somewhere in the system, the money's still being automatically deducted every month. Yeah, so we've made quite a few phone calls, and the thing is, for those, they'll ask everything, like birthday, IBAN, a special PIN if that's something you set up, like a 4-digit number or code word, or they want to know a lot of information.
I know how that is too. I know how stressful that is too, because even being over here for so long, like I have, and having a good general idea of German, right? I still, when I need to make those those professional phone calls or maintenance phone calls or whatever, I start sweating. I'm like, are these people going to understand my German? Am I going to understand them? Like, I got a call this morning. This is a perfect example. I got a call this morning from a number I did not know. I answered it. And I don't know who it was, but the lady told me, auf Deutsch, that, and I told her my German is not the greatest, so just speak slowly, but we can talk. Because she said her English is terrible too. So we were like, all right, well, we'll try. But she told me that she had a letter that she had sent to my address about a blitzer, about a
speeding ticket.
And I said, I haven't received this in the mail, you know? And she's like, in German, well, is your address this? And I said, no, that's I moved to a new home within the last year, right? And so I said, that's at the other house. And funny enough, one of a DTV fan who just got stationed in Graf, they actually are in my house now. And I ran into them and they're like, we live in your house now. You know, I've done a bunch of videos in the house, and so I was like, anyways. So I'm sure that they have it, and they're probably put that on the refrigerator.
It's also different, like if you pick up on the restaurant lingo and stuff like that, which goes relatively quickly or easier, and then a little bit of small talk of wie geht's and Sonne scheint and hey, schönes Wochenende, you know, just to say a few nice things, but actually hotline lingo or contract, you know, legal German and things like that, that's even hard for some Germans. So totally right. It really depends on what you need or what you're looking at. And
I had a buddy ask me to come sit in for to be a translator because they were getting married at the church. And I was like, dude, I'm at like A2 level German, you know? He's like, it's okay, it's not gonna matter, you don't really need to, you know? And so I was like, all right, I'll go, you know?
You did?
I went. As soon as I went in there and she started talking, she was full on sentences, and then she'd look at me to like translate.
And you're like, hello.
And she didn't really know English that well, and so I was talking to him, and I was like, all right, well, I don't really know what she said, but I'm gonna just kind of guess a little bit. I'm saying this in English, but then she realized really quickly that she was like, he cannot translate this, you know? And so she was like, he's got to go. I was sweating so bad. I was just like, get me out of here. How long is this? You know? But I
you
tried.
didn't Google in advance what they say at a German wedding?
Phone, like, say it again or Google Translate. Okay.
No, you weren't
I
prepared.
was not prepared. So anyway, so I can understand the importance of your services that you do for the community out here, and I will definitely get this out to as many Americans as I can so that they can get the help from you and the service that you need.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
My pleasure.
We're sorry, the number you have reached is not in service. Please check the number or try your call again.